Fine. So like let's start with the very basic, like what is an SQL? Basically, what is an SQL? So so SQL is a language, right? Like we know that I shared a picture yesterday. So like, sorry, day before yesterday with a high level picture, right? So it's a language. So this language is used for writing the queries, okay, to communicate with the database, okay? So we can run queries against the database, okay? So what is the database, first of all? So database is a place where the data is stored, right? Is stored and can be retrieved, right? And can be retrieved. Retrieved means taken out, okay? Retrieved and manipulated, okay? And also manipulation means like something we are doing some conversions or like calculations. So those things we can do with the data, okay? So that's what we call it as manipulation, okay? So SQL is a language to fetch the data, okay? Like using SQL we are like taking, like we reading or adding some data to the database, okay? So SQL stands for structured query language, okay? So how this is like happening, how we are taking or like adding a data or inserting a data, how this is happening? So it is using the structured query language, okay? Like the everything like we are maintaining in a structured way, okay? So how you are saying is structured? So because like consider a room, okay? Consider a big like very big hall, okay? There are 1,000 gifts available, okay? Out of which some 250 gifts are in green color, some other 250 gifts are in red color, another 250 gifts are in like blue color, and another 250 gifts are in yellow color, okay? So it's a very big hall, okay? Very big hall. Now I ask one of you to go and pick up a book that is in red color, okay? So there are some like different shapes, okay? Like some of them in rectangular shape, some of them in circular shape, okay? Now I ask you to pick a red color. So how much time will it going to take from out of the 1,000 gifts? Can you tell me, like just guess? I didn't ask you any tough question. I asked a very simple question, okay? So in a very big hall there are 1,000 gifts, okay? Like the gifts are wrapped up with some color papers, you know, like the coverings, the like shining papers, right? You are gift wrapped sheets. So they are wrapped with those sheets, and they are placed randomly, okay, across the very big hall, okay? So there are 1,000 gifts in that particular hall, okay? Now I asking you, one of you, to go and get the red color, okay? And with a rectangle shape, okay? So guys, like how much time will it take for you to pick up? Or consider like so it is easy, but I want that with some name. For example, like XYZ, okay? Consider the name written on the gift is XYZ. How much time will it take? So
2 minutes, sir.
it will take some half an hour or 1 hour, right?
Yes,
Or
yes.
even more. Sometimes even within 5 minutes you can able to, if you are having luck. Like it's a probable one, right? Like if the probability, like based on the probability, like it differs the timing, right? So in worst case even it will take 1 hour also, right? So at the same time, consider now what I'm trying to do. Now I'm having 4 halls. I'm separating the gifts. Okay. So red color gifts in one room, one room, and like it. So how many? Like each of them, how many? Like each count is 250. Okay. So for each color, the count is 250. So totally like 250 into 4, right? We have 4 colors. Like the gifts wrapped with 4 different colors. So each of them containing 250 count, okay? So now I'm like keeping the 250 gifts each, okay? I'm separating based on the color, okay? And keeping it in separate rooms. Now can you tell me, I want you to get a gift that is wrapped with red color and it is rectangle in shape. So how much time now it will take, guys? Can you tell me?
Time will get reduced.
Yeah, it will reduce, right?
Yes.
Like like now it may, like in even in worst case it will not take more than some 15 minutes, right? Because the hall is less smaller one. So now what we are doing, like we reduce the, like the scenario, right? Like first thing, Like what is the color you're asking? I said red. Then now you getting into the red color, the room where the red color gifts are kept, and you started searching for that particular gift with the name XYZ. Okay, now it is reduced. Now one more time, like now one more thing what I'm doing, I'm adding still it is taking time, right? So now what I'm doing, like adding some tables, okay, like stands, so or some shelves, okay, to that room. And I'm segregating like some for example 3 or 4 shelves based on the shapes, okay. Consider the rectangular gifts I'm keeping in one shelf, the circular gifts I'm keeping in another shelf, some of them with some cylindrical thing like shape, okay. So those gifts I'm keeping in like shelf 3. And some of the gifts, there are some small like bigger gifts, okay, consider they are like huge big, even irrespective of the size they are big, too big, okay. So those things I'm keeping in another shelf. Now I'm asking you to go to the red color room, the room, like, okay, pick up a red color gift, okay, that is rectangular in shape, and it is like moderate in size, okay. Now tell me how much time will it take? Guys, I'm not asking exactly, okay. Can you like randomly, can you tell me how much time will it take?
Lesser than before.
Yeah, correct. Because so we are like still like segregating, right? Like we
Yes,
separating,
sir.
okay. So we are like we like we still like separated them, like so. Previously initially it took 1 hour, like later it took some 15 minutes. Now you are saying like less than 5 minutes, okay, not even 5 minutes, like less than 5 minutes, okay, fine. So this way, if you are, so what we are doing here, so we are structurally changing, right? Like we are keeping the gifts in a structural way. So it is easy for us to pick up and deliver, like pick it up from the among the 1,000 gifts, right? Even though we have 1,000 gifts, we were able to pick up the particular gift quickly with the name XYZ, right? So so this way it's like helping us to take the data and even keep the data, even keep the gifts in the particular place in a structured way, right? So this kind of way, okay, like not keeping like things here and there, okay, like keeping it in a particular place, okay. If it is a shelf for rectangular gifts, then we are keeping only rectangular sized gifts, shaped gifts, okay, in that particular shelf, okay. So that it will be more structured one, okay. So such kind of stuff, such kind of scenario, we are doing it with the database, okay. So here we are like tagging the relevant information, okay. So how we are like tagged the relevant information previously based on the shapes and the colors, right? So similarly in the database, so we are like tagging the informations, relevant informations together, okay. So that we can able to pick that proper record quickly and efficiently, okay. So that's the way, okay, that's the approach. So why the so where all the places the SQL is used, let's see. So it is used by the application developed in any of the languages such as .NET, like Python, Java, PHP, etc. Then from up, like, okay, so the applications are using this SQL language, and using that SQL language, they are communicating with the database and able to get or add data to the database, okay. So they if they want to retrieve, they can retrieve that from the database. If they want to add, they can do it, okay. So all of them are done using this query language, okay, fine. So apart from that, some backend support, for example, like in many companies, there are some developers, their job is to create report, pull report, optimize report, okay. So those kind of works they are doing, they are purely working on the SQL developer or some kind of SQL plus or some kind of interface, okay. So they're directly communicating with the database, okay. So such people, okay. So like the data analytics, data scientist, okay, those people are also working with these kind of tools, okay, fine. Okay, so you are said like structural data thing. So how it come into picture, let's see. So in 1985 or 1986, the scientists have developed some, okay, developed some software, okay, to store to store the content, okay. They call it a storage space, okay, like where they particularly storing some relevant data, okay. So that is called as database, okay. They went to standardize the way of accessing the database, even though like they are developing like many people started researching and developing their own database, okay, but they felt like to improve the user access, okay, users accessibility, they want to have a common language. So that's when, okay, they realize that they are in need of a standard language to communicate with the database. So that time they like created this SQL, okay. So this SQL is approved by the ANSI. ANSI stands for American National Standards for Institute, okay, in 1986, and in 1987 it is approved by the International Organization for Standards, ISO, okay. So it is approved and it was followed, okay, followed by, like even today, like if any, like if you are going to create a database, then you need to follow the norms set by these standard organizations, okay, so that it will be like easy for the like end users or the developers to like quickly learn about your tool, and quickly they can able to work on your tool, okay, fine. But it is not required that same kind of UI you need to provide. It's not mandatory, okay, it's up to you, okay. You can provide a different UI, okay, that's up to you, okay. So how easily they can access that, that ease of access that you can provide of your own, okay, fine. So there are different databases available in the market provided by different companies such as Microsoft, Oracle, like IBM. So such companies are providing their own databases. So what are those databases? Microsoft SQL is a database, Oracle is a database, DB2 is a database, MySQL is a database, Postgres is a database, Microsoft Access is a database. Okay. So the above databases are called SQL databases. Why? Because these databases are working based on SQL language. Okay. So that's why these databases are called as SQL databases. Sir, like you are saying this, yes, if we learn SQL, then we can write queries, okay, against all the above databases, okay. So we can write queries against all the other databases. So you are saying like SQL database, then what about the other kind? So the other kind is called NoSQL databases, okay. NoSQL in the sense, so there is no structured thing. So those databases are working based on a like the data type, okay, like the formats. So they are working based on XML or JSON formats, okay. So they are XML, you know, right? It's a language like tag based language. Apart from that, we have JSON. So like it's like the like very structured thing, right? Like root elements, right? That's how it is maintained. So those way like the databases are handled, okay, for the NoSQL databases. So example of NoSQL databases are MongoDB, MarkLogic, etc. We no need to worry about this. So we are not going to touch anything over this. Okay. So like just for your knowledge, I'm saying this here. Okay, fine. So up to this, any doubts or any questions, guys? All of you?
No, sir.
So okay, fine. Mahesh, can you please turn off your video? Yeah, thank you. So okay, I'm like going to continue here. Okay, fine. So SQL is a standard language for storing, manipulating, and retrieving data from the database. Okay. So what is the purpose of this SQL language? The SQL language is used for storing, manipulating, and retrieving data from the databases. Okay. So like first of all, what we need in order to store like in order to achieve all these operations, what we need, so we need to create a user, okay, that we already done. So this is called as either user or a database, okay. We can call with different names. We can either call it as, yeah, user or a database, okay. So I have created one user, okay. So this is called as a database, okay, fine. So another thing is that it is a case insensitive language. Case insensitive, okay, insensitive language, okay. So here like you can see that create user some username, okay. So I'm just giving some 7:30 a.m, okay. Like after that, what I'm doing, so after that I'm writing identified by some like some password, okay. So I given this. So here like with the first line you can see that everything is written in small case, okay. So everything is written in small case. So whereas with line number 33, the line is written in capital case. You see that, right? So here it is written in capital case. So according to this query, so both of them are the same, okay. But sir, what about this part here? Like in first query you mentioned as lowercase, second query also lowercase, because so this is the data I'm creating, right? So this is the user I'm providing, username I'm providing. So the username I have provided is SQL 7:30 a.m. Okay. The password I have provided is SQL 7:30 a.m. Okay. So this is the username and password. Okay. So is that clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So username and password should be case sensitive. Okay. So other things are not case sensitive. The query is not case sensitive, whereas the username and password is case sensitive. So we should not compromise. Okay. We should not like handle. Okay. Like same case across the data. So if the data is different case, then it will consider it as a different one. Okay. So the query is case insensitive, whereas the data is case sensitive. Okay. So I had given this over here. Okay. Fine. So next one we are going to see about various classifications in like SQL. Okay. So I'm going to save this case. Okay, like I will tell you how to save this content. Okay, so like I have written some content over here. Okay, but I want to store it in some place. Okay, so how I can store? So I need to store it to some place. Okay, so how I can store that? Okay, is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Dinesh. Yes.
So there is a save button available in the top. Okay, you need to click this. It reads like save. Okay, so I need to click the save icon. So the one pop-up will come. Okay, so I am selecting my desktop. Okay, after that I'm giving a name. Okay, so it is like same as my connection username. I'm leaving as is. Okay, I'm not changing anything, and simply clicking save button. That's it. Okay, so whenever like I'm closing this SQL developer and coming back for the next time, I can able to get this. Okay, so or otherwise if you are not saving this information, then it will be lost. Okay, so you need to save it. Okay, so that your work will be available for the next time access. Okay. Okay, fine. So let's proceed here. Like, so the SQL is classified as DDL, data definition language. The expansion or abbreviation of DDL is data definition language, and DML. DML stands for data manipulation language. Okay, so DDL and DML. Okay, so let's see what is about DDL first. So the DDL stands for data definition language. So this deals with the database structures. So what it is dealing with? So it is dealing with the database structures. So what are the database structures? Like create, alter, drop, and truncate. Okay. So what are the things available? Create, alter, drop, and truncate. Okay. So these four things available. Okay. So here what we need to do? We need to start looking into each and everything. Okay, so let's see about create. So what this create is all about? Okay, so we saw a create is used for creating a user, right? I created a user using this statement only, create keyword only, right? So like I created the user like using the create user option only, right? So similarly this create button is used create that keyword is used for create table as well. Okay, so let's start seeing about the very basic thing, table. Okay, so what is a table?
A
So
table has rows and columns.
correct. So the table will store lot of records. First of all, it will store lot of records. Okay. So how it is storing? It is storing in the form of rows and columns. Okay. So it is storing the data in the form of rows and columns. So also after storing a data, then what how it will be representing or showing? So it is representing like records. Okay, it is represented by the keyword record. So one row of data present in the table is called the record. Okay, so here you can see that there are like some titles that I'm given. So name, age, gender, address, phone number, email. So these are all the headers. Okay, under each header I'm giving some values. If it is name, then I can give Ram, Sujit. Okay, then corresponding age. Okay, so like age is okay, Sujita. Okay, so Ram is a person with the age 20, gender is male, and address is Pune, and some phone number and email ID. Okay, fine. So second, so this one is called as one record. So collection of information about one particular entity. Okay, so the here entity is nothing but the person. Okay, the Ram, the person. Okay. With the second row, the entity name is Sujita. Okay, and the relevant informations are given here: 21, female, Bangalore, phone number, and email ID. Okay, so is that clear, guys?
Yes.
So this is one record, and this is another record. So like totally we called as two records. Okay, so we have two records in this table. Okay. So the horizontal content is called as row, okay, whereas the vertical content, the Ram, Sujita, the relevant like same kind of information is called as column, okay. So this is the difference between like these are all the informations, okay, maintained in a table. So in order to create and have like so this is belonging to the structure, the name, phone, age, gender, address. So these are structure, and the second row and third row are called as the data. Okay, so I just given an example here, but we are going to create a table and see how it works, how it is like stored or manipulated. Okay, so very basic thing is we need to create a table. Okay, so like for each and everything in SQL we have syntax available. Okay, the syntax for creating table is given here. So create table, table name. Okay, so what we need to give, create table, table name, then within bracket column name. So the column name is nothing but the name. Okay, column name 1 is nothing but the name, column name 2 is nothing but the age. Okay, so under name, what kind of content you are going to maintain? So what is this? Alphabets, right? So Ram is a alphabet, Sujita is a alphabet. Okay, fine. Like, but with age field, what we are having here? What is this 20 and 21?
Numbers.
So they are numbers. Okay. So the number is like they are different, right? So name is different, number is different. Okay, so these are called as alphabets, these are called as numbers. Okay, fine. So the respective data types we need to provide here. Okay, so after that, like etc. So for each and every column we need to mention the column name and the corresponding data type. Okay, so for etc up to column n, so the column n represents the email. Okay, fine. So originally I'm going to create this table. Okay, so create table. Okay, so consider these are college student. Okay, college student. I'm creating a table name. So instead of table name, so this is generic name. We should not create this one. Okay, so this is a generic one. I'm going to implement this. Okay, so create table college underscore student. After that, I need to open and close the bracket. Okay, so this bracket I have opened here and closed it here. I'm just copying. Okay, next what I need to create for this table. So first column is name. Okay, so after that, what kind of data it is holding? Alphabet. Okay, so there is a chance that Ram space Kumar, so that is also possible, right? So here it should allow accept space also. Sometimes they want to give Ram Kumar 1. Okay, like mostly they will not give, like sometimes. Okay, some people. Okay, then it should accept alphabet, space, and number also. Okay, so in that case what we need to follow, so we need to provide a data type called varchar2. Okay, so apart from that, within bracket we need to mention the size. Okay, what we need to mention, the size. Okay, the size is 50 character. It means that similar to Ram, I can like type up to 50 characters. Okay, so A B C D E F G H I J K L. Okay, some. Okay, so for example, Rangaraj Sotaman. Okay, so how many characters are we have? We have how many characters here? 21 characters. Okay, the column here is mentioning that 21 character. Okay, similarly, some like some other name. Okay, is too big. Okay, so you up to like so here we have up to 44 characters. Okay, so these many up to 650. So like here it reached 50. So this character, this much name, it can be stored in this particular column, not beyond this. So if you are giving some other big name, then it will fail. Okay, it will not be like stored with this particular column. That's the indication 50. So 50 characters can be stored in this particular column for that particular name. Okay, not for all the name. Okay, so for the particular name. Okay, so for second record, we can store another 50. Okay, fine. Now what is the second column? Age. So what is the age data type? Number, right? The age is going to have the number value. So what the maximum age can be? Maximum it can be some 3-digit 100, right? So 110, 115, 130. I didn't hear anyone beyond the 130 or 40 lived in the world, right? So I'm just giving 3. That's enough. That is more than enough. Okay, fine. Next one is gender. So either it is going to have 4 characters or 6 characters. Like say for example, say some 10 character. Okay,
10 characters.
so I'm using varchar2 of 10. Okay, now address, like we are having address here, right? So I'm giving address varchar2 of some 100 characters. Okay, then phone. So phone, how it will be? Number of, for example, some 15 digits. Okay, fine.
Okay.
So next one is email address. Address. So varchar2 of, so what is that size? 50 character. Okay.
50.
So fine, like for every column. Okay, like if I'm giving one column and next column, the differentiator is the comma. Okay. So you need to use comma in between each and every columns. Okay. So finally, this is the last column. There is no other column. Okay, now what I need to do, I should not add a comma here. Okay, for the final column. Okay, you can refer it here in the syntax also. I didn't add any comma here. I added comma between the column names 1 and 2. Okay, but not with the last column. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to select this and click this play button, so that the table college underscore student has been created and it will be available under this table section. So guys, you can able to see this, right? Any doubts?